Go in a hole. Nice one.
Wendy, I'm going to compare your putting stroke to Tiger, and the one on the left of your swing is before we did any adjustments. First, your setup looks very good. You have your elbows slightly bent and tucked into the sides. Your stance looks fine. You're over the ball. Everything looks good there. Let's watch Tiger take the putter back. As he hits the ball, his eyes are down. As the ball leaves, he keeps his eyes down. He keeps his eyes down. He does not turn his head until the ball has already left the screen. Then he will turn. So he's holding. He's putting, holding. Then he holds that finish for a moment or two before he turns. And while he's turning and looking, he's keeping his putter follow through in the same position. He's holding his spine angle, his posture. So he's putting the ball to its complete finish. He holds for a moment of stillness, and it's in that moment that he kind of remembers the feeling of the force he used, and then only after that moment will he turn and look. Let's look at your technique a little bit. As you take it back, you have a nice arm and elbow swing. You aren't wristy at all, which is very good. As you make contact, your eyes are down, but you do let your eyes and your head turn with the stroke as you follow the ball with your eyes. And then as you're turning, you're also lifting a little bit. Your spine angle is standing up straighter, and you're not keeping your posture. There is a little bit of a recoil of the putter coming back, so there is no real hold of the finish during the stroke. And that's the only thing that we really worked on. All of your fundamentals are very solid. That was the one fundamental that I wanted to add to your putting stroke. I strongly believe that if you did add it, you'll become a better putter.
And whatever that felt like, try to copy it. Whatever that felt like, try to copy it. I'm really pleased. What, now don't look. I want to ask you a question. Of the three, which one went the shortest?
The last one.
That's exactly right. That's excellent. But look at that cluster, though. That's really good.
Now this is your stroke after we had done some cluster drills where you hit 3 balls without looking at all, trying to copy the same feeling each time. And then after that drill, I had you put some balls executing the putt hole look, and that's what this is. So let's take a look at that. You take it back. As you hit the ball, your eyes are down. Your eyes are still down. Your eyes are still down. And you come to a complete stop. Then you turn and look, and you have kept your putter there. You've kept your finish there. And then you're looking, and you're holding your spine, your posture. You had that moment of stillness, though, before. So that's the new technique for your putting stroke. I think you will quickly adopt that successfully and start having a little better feeling of how hard to hit each putt and choosing a stroke and then copying the stroke that you choose.
So you're going to putt, hold, and then look. Then you can look. And what you're actually doing before you look, you can almost play a little game with yourself and say, did I hit that the way I intended to or not? You know, I did. And then you look, oh, I intended wrong. Or, no, I didn't hit, I hit that softer than I intended. Putt, hold, look, what we're practicing is the hold. I don't care where the ball goes. Now, do a few. I'm going to make some adjustments in what you're doing, but I just want to get a few videos of some of your baseline technique. Okay? Good. Very nice. Okay? You've got a really strong foundation of fundamentals. You're doing really well.
There, that's what I do.
Now I'm going to look at your chipping technique, and on the left was your setup and your chipping technique before I made some adjustments. Your setup looks really solid. I did make some changes. First, I'm going to talk about how close your feet should be. Luke Donald, PGA player on the right, you can see how close his feet are. This is Rory McIlroy. You can see how close his feet are. Very close. And here's Tiger. All pros will put their feet very close to each other when they set up for any shot that is like a chip or a pitch shot. The second thing I talked about was the importance of choking down on the club. You don't need power, which is what you would get if you got on the end of the club. You want precision and control of the club, and you want to maximize that, and that happens when you choke down. You can see how Tiger is choked down a couple of inches there, and again, you're seeing how close his feet are. Now, the main reason they put their feet together is so that they can easily and comfortably put more weight on their front foot than their back foot. And you can see here where Tiger has his legs kind of angled towards the target. His left hip, if you drew a line straight down, is outside of that foot. They want their feet close together so that they can stabilize their swing and not have any tendency to sway. If you widen your stance, it becomes much easier to kind of rock to the right foot a little bit. It's harder to do that if you have your feet close together. So having a very stable golf circle, a stable axis golf swing and chipping action swing is very important. Now we're going to look at the technique itself of swinging the club through the ball. You'll notice that Tiger keeps his arms extended. Doesn't have a lot of wrist action. He doesn't have a chip. He's not like chopping right through here. He's just swinging his shoulders and his chest. You can see how when he hits the ball, the hands are right in front of his sternum. As he comes through, his hands and chest swing together, connected. So it's a very one piece. His hips, look at his right knee move, his right hip move. But you really can see how his arms are connected on his sides and they move as one unit. He's not flipping his hands at the ball. He's swinging his body through. And it's okay to let your head lift and your eyes lift with the chip and pitch shots. We didn't want to do that with putting, and we don't want to do that with full swings. But it is very optimal to do that with your chips and pitches, to go ahead and feel that connectedness and not let the head stay stuck to the ground as you hit through the ball. So as you come through, this is before, and you have right now a lot of movement of the club, but it's mostly just with the hands and wrist. You kind of just chop down. And we worked on developing this connected swing where you swing your shoulders, turn your shoulders to the target, and when you turn your shoulders to the target, that pulls the club through. Here's Luke Donald. You can see how he has the same thing that Tiger was doing. His arms, his elbows are connected to his sides. He's not letting them come off of his sides. He turns his chest to the target. Hands stay in front of the body. You can see the right hip turn as well. Here's Rory McIlroy. You can see how his shoulder turn and hands move together. Right there. You can see how that right knee, right hip connected. More evidence of how the hands are not flippy when Tiger hits this ball, he has an angle the back of his right wrist and the shaft. And as he comes through, he maintains that angle. So the forearm and the shaft are maintained. He's not flipping the club head past his hands. He keeps that angle in the shaft all the way through. So he's not throwing the right hand underneath. And you can see how as you come through, this all became a straight line. You don't have that angle. If we go back to your impact, when you hit the ball, you have this angle, but you lose that angle as you come through because you're kind of flipping that right hand underneath. Now we're going to look at your chipping technique after you made some adjustments. You have your feet on the right was after we adjusted your setup, and on the left was before. So let's look at the swing now of these two. Let's compare them. Your feet are a little closer together on the right than they are on the left. You definitely have more weight on your left foot than your right foot. If I were to draw a box from the center of your ankles to the top of your head on both of these, you can see how you're much more on your left side than your right side. And so you definitely have the angle in these legs going this way, so you're kind of leaning to the target. That's very good. You've choked down on the club. On the left, your other technique, you went that far back, about the same, but this is where the difference is. As you come down, you can see how as you hit the ball, how your back foot and back leg really are just locked down. You're basically swinging with your hands and arms. You're not really using a connected body swing to help you hit the ball. So, because when you use your body, you can keep the hands quiet, and they don't jab at the ball. And it's that jabbing, that little chopping action with your hands that gets you in trouble. With your other swing, watch how your right knee, right hip are starting to move towards the target. Here there is no movement. And so on the left, you have come through, you have moved your hands and your upper body as a unit, as a connected unit. You're not just flipping the hands at the ball. So that's very good. You can see how this knee has come all the way up to the other leg, and you've turned your body to the target. So that's how the two swings are different. On the right is the new technique where you're letting your body turn to the target, and the turning of the body helps pull the club and swing the club with quiet hands. On the left, you basically kept your lower body facing the camera the whole time. There was no turning at all, and that forced you to just kind of flip the club with your hands. So continue to work on that technique, and that'll get better and better. Now this was with a sand wedge. Now I'm going to show you your chip with your new technique, but this time you're using a pitching wedge. And because it's a pitching wedge, it's going to fly a little bit lower and hit the green and roll further after it hits the green. And so because it's going to roll more, you don't need as big a backswing. And so you had a much smaller, shorter backswing. So you only went to about right there. With your pitching, your sand wedge swing, you went much higher. You went to right about there. So with your sand wedge swing, you were about here. So you had to take it back further. And anytime you have a bigger backswing, there's more chances of things going wrong. When you can simplify the swing, shorten the swing, you're going to be a little bit more consistent. So with a lower lofted club, you're going to be more consistent, and your misses won't be as bad. When you have a big swing and you hit the ball, because the big swing created so much more speed, the ball's going to come off so much faster, it can go over the green when you hit it. And with a pitching wedge, you'll have a softer swing, and if you hit it, it won't go as far offline. So it's a much more forgiving type of club and technique. As you come through, again, you use that nice little connected swing. Now, over time, as we perfect and refine this technique, I'm going to want you from like the knees up, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, from the knees up, I want you to have this turn, but learn how to do it while let that back foot kind of lean to the target and not necessarily lift the heel that high. Here we're seeing Tiger have that connected swing. I can see his knee moving, his hip moving. It's moving a little, but his back foot is kind of quiet. It leans a little bit to the side of the ankle, but it doesn't lift it dramatically. But you'll get that down. You're learning this in stages, and you're doing the first level of learning this move, and the next level will be to have that move with quieter feet. But you're doing very, very well.
You want the club to move not with the hands so much, but it's really a body swing. Right now my hands are in front of my chest, and when I swing, they're still in front of my chest. So I'm actually swinging my chest with the ball. It's a chest swing. It's not a hand swing. So I want you to feel like your sternum is creating the speed of the swing. Let me see you do a couple of practice swings. And when you finish, let yourself swing. Don't grip too tight. So when you finish, you're gonna be right here. So I don't want you to be here. Go ahead and let yourself swing so the elbows stay right in front of you. Yes. That's very okay. Good. Good. A little bit. Right about so that club's gonna finish about right here. It's a gentle swing. Right there. Yeah. Form first. Performance later. Create the right form. Hold that finish. Good. Softer swing. Swing the chest. Hold it. Good. Hold it. Good. You swing the form. Well, that was really good, gentlemen. You didn't do that form. Swing to that picture. Oh yeah. It's almost a graceful swing. Both of y'all did.